Number one, Salud has never lost in Hawaii. And number two, it's not going to be a cakewalk here tonight, Max.
No, you know, Salud is on a bit of a roll himself. Velardez has won a bunch of his recent fights, but if you take away the Barrera fight, so is Salud.
You can see the age, 38 years old, but he's got the physique and the looks of a guy who's about 32, 31 years old. Now, a lot of points we want to bring out. Max, let's focus on him right now.
Jesus Salud got beat up by Marco Antonio Barrera, but as I said, not the end of the world, because so did Nassim Hamed. Velardez has really been on the upswing recently, lost some early fights, but he's only 20 years old. Has a tendency to be out in front of himself, to reach for his opponent. And as Teddy Atlas has pointed out many times on Friday Night Fights, you reach for the guy, your upper body falls over your front leg, and you're kind of falling into the guy. You can be countered. I expect Salud to take advantage of that tonight.
And round one between Salud and Velardez. Keep in mind that Velardez in the black trunks was only 2 years old when Salud fought his first professional fight.
Velardez is reaching much less now than he did even 6 or 7 fights ago. He's improved, which is why this is now a crossroads fight instead of a cakewalk for Salud. It's a very evenly matched fight.
Well, the reason why Velardez is in this position tonight is because he scored a very impressive victory just over a month ago in Las Vegas on the undercard of Barrera and Hamed when he just worked over Juan Carlos Ramirez, the ranchero. And tonight he said he's going to come in here and surprise Hawaiians by knocking off their original Hawaiian punch.
Salud giving ground right away.
What do you learn from that?
1, 2, 3. Bring it down a little bit lower.
Velardez is going after him a bit, and Salud is looking to study him in the first round before committing.
There you go. Yeah, the body.
All night, Bobby.
1, 2, Bobby. 1, 2. Bobby, you got a punch,
I expect Salud's defense
1, 2, Bobby. Look.
over the first few rounds to have Velardez reaching and Salud to take advantage of that as the fight wears on. So far, that hasn't happened yet.
Right the middle, Bobby. Going down, bro. Right the middle.
Bobby Boy coming out with a nice style tonight, Max. And this is a fighter. He's 17-4-1, but he's still growing. And he suffered those losses early on. And now he's put together a nice string.
That's all it is.
Henry Armstrong lost his first professional fight, wound up being maybe the greatest fighter in the history of boxing other than Sugar Ray Robinson. I don't think that's in Velardez's future, but what's in his past, the early losses shouldn't be that big a deal. Freddie Pendleton was like a 500 fighter when he became a dominant force in lightweight, or at least a world-class contender.
Side to side. Bounce, Bobby.
Billy Kahn used to say, the great Pittsburgh heavyweight used to say, if you were undefeated by the time you fought for a title, there was something wrong, because it meant you never learned anything along the way. So early career losses, overrated.
Velardez getting Salud in trouble here in the corner for a little bit. It's just
surprising that he's able to kind of overwhelm him a little bit just with these looping overhand rights, and Salud's not answering.
You know, Salud takes great pride. You were saying earlier that he's never lost here at home in Hawaii. And also, it's a nice right hand. And also, he's 35-2 against Mexican fighters. Gotta keep in mind, he's had 72 fights. One of those fights was one of the most heartbreaking of his career. And that was the one that never happened. Let me explain. You see, in 1989, he won the WBA junior featherweight title against Juan Estrada. Took the title from him after Estrada was disqualified for low blows. And then he was stripped before he even had a chance to make his first title defense. And the reason, Max, was because he refused to travel to Colombia for mandatory defense on advice of the U.S. State Department. Here's what he had to say about that period in his life.
I started from the very bottom. I mean, I climbed my way up there and earned that title. And then taken away like that, it's like, and only that, I was signing a big contract with HBO, And when he took the title away, millions of dollars went down the drain with it. So it really broke my heart.
You hear him say how he had a big contract lined up with HBO, who Lou DiBella, who's essentially the promoter here tonight, although he'll call himself the matchmaker.
The guy took shots at you.
Right. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what he's mad about. He revolutionized things over there. HBO claims to not care about who has the title, not important for them. And I think with DiBella, that they really took strides in that direction, that the titles became less important. But clearly, at the time, the title was important. Because after Salud lost it without a loss in the ring, the contract went.
And Salud says he wants to get that title shot once again.
At 22, against either Velardez Adams or Willie Horeen or the Halo Ladwaba.
Well, he needs to get past Bobby Boy here tonight in order to earn that shot.
He's not going to get a shot at Morales or Hamed because as badly as Barrera beat him, they're going to have to beat him at least as badly or they'll be criticized. So I don't think Hamed or Morales would fight him. Good hook from Morales.
Right over it. Come in with a hook. Right to the body, Bobby. Get that hand up.
Well, here he is tonight, Max. He's fighting. He's coming off the loss to Barrera. He seems to be affected by that loss here inside the ring here tonight. He's not the same fighter of years past, but can he still get that championship shot?
Yeah, that's why he claims he's fighting here tonight. Some decent action going on right now.
They didn't do shit to you, Bobby.
The truth is, why is he fighting? Because he's a fighter. This is what he knows how to do. A bad loss here tonight, yes, maybe he retires, maybe.
Salud says that not a day goes by when he does not think about that defeat, or basically the loss of that title. He was basically defeated outside of the ring.
Horeen especially is a very vulnerable guy at 122 pounds. And Salud will also be considered vulnerable, but he has a name. So coming off a win here, I'd say it wouldn't be out of the question that he could get a title shot at a guy like Horeen, and that's a winnable fight.
Well, let's not write off Velardez so quick here either, because here's a guy who's
winning the fight.
He's winning the fight, but he's also in the same type of position, looking for that opportunity at a big payday or a shot at the title. And with the loss that Naseem Hamed had just a month ago.
Bounce, Bobby, bounce.
Who knows? Who knows if he could be possibly in the cards here as a tune-up fight.
I say he's losing the fight. It's a close competitive fight so far after 2 rounds. And Salud is blocking a lot of these right hands that may look on TV like they're landing. He is picking them off with his gloves.
Big right there by Velardez that Jesus just leans into.
It looked like he snaked around the left arm of Salud.
Out here at the convention center in Honolulu, Hawaii, hoping that the Hawaiian punch can somehow punch his way into victory here tonight. And Velardez trying to come into his opponent's digs to pick up the win.
Hands off the rope. Put your mouth. Okay, three punches at a time, Bobby. You're not doing it. Just stay ahead of the game. You throw 3 punches at a time. Jab right. Take it out. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Okay, look. Jab by jab. Jab by hook right and move. Jab by jab. Jab by hook right and move, okay? Does it hit hard? No. Okay, then don't worry about it. Don't get caught, okay?
Think of what you're doing and do it yourself. All right, mijo? Don't let him touch you.
Catch your breath. 3 punches at a time, Bobby.
You heard Bobby Boy's point. They said, does he hit hard? And he said, no. They said, well, don't worry about it. I don't know about that. Salud's not a bad puncher. And Tito Mendoza last week starched Sanchez with 1 right hand. He's not a big puncher either, but it landed right on the chin. A decent puncher lands a right hand right on the chin. You can go. Doesn't matter if he's a big puncher.
His father, Armando, is in the corner. Number one voice in the corner.
But you see, Velardez, if he's carrying the fight on the judges' scorecards, doing so on volume punching. He's barely landed any more, but has thrown so many more that he's landed some more.
He's definitely the more active fighter here this evening.
So it doesn't matter if you throw 100 punches and 90 are blocked, you still landed 10.
And depending on the angle, it looks like he might have landed more than just 10.
And especially if there's not a lot coming back at you. The other guy throws 5, lands 3. His percentage is a lot higher, but meanwhile he landed fewer punches. He's losing the fight.
Bobby Boy not showing Salud any respect here this evening. Since round 1, he's been on top of him, Max.
Chin down, hands up, Bobby.
He's taking a
Hit
fight
him with
to
your
him.
right hand.
Hands up, chin down, Bobby.
Salud's starting to come on a little bit. Felt him out for 2 rounds, and he's starting to push him back.
You expect a 38-year-old to take his time, study the guy, and try and figure things out as the fight goes on, and the younger guy to maybe be a little more headstrong and come out and try to overwhelm him a little bit, impose his strength a little bit in his youth.
1, 2, 3, Bobby, move. 1, 2, 3, uppercut the middle. Keep bringing it up, Bobby. Bring it up the middle. Bring it up. Up it up. 1, 2, 3, Bobby. Overhand right.
Max, we've seen Bobby Boy in the past. We see him here tonight. His father's his trainer, but we see where he's at, and he's got some talent. What could he possibly do in terms of growth if we were to bring in a different trainer for him? If you're, let's say, his management team thinking that.
No, he looks a lot better than he did even 6 or 7 fights ago. As I said, he's reaching much less. His punches are coming in straighter. He's not making some of the same mistakes that he made even a year ago. And so he is progressing. There's no doubt about it. He's only 20 years old. Most important thing in the corner, I think, is that you make sure you come into the fight in shape, prepared.
Well, he's at the point in his life where he's going to show the most growth as a professional at this stage of his career.
I should say prepared, and they can make adjustments in the corner, and they can communicate with the fighter in the corner. And if his father's been with him from the beginning, and they have a good relationship, there's no reason it can't work, as it's worked with Jack Mosley and Don Felix, Trinidad Sr.
Jesus Salud has never lost a fight in Hawaii. But Max,
That could change tonight.
he may be losing this one right now.
It's early yet, but
Nice left there. That backs up Velardez.
yeah, he's in the fight because he's countering well with his single straight right hands and just then the left hook, but Velardez is punching in volume.
Round 4 coming up.
The world's top car manufacturers adhere to very strict principles when they choose tires for their cars. And you can too. Bridgestone tires. Stick to your principles.
And welcome back to Honolulu, Hawaii for the main event of Tuesday night fights for this Tuesday, presented by Miller High Life. And here are the total punches for Velardez and Salud. 27% for Salud in terms of accuracy for the last round.
Again, it's I always thought percentage is a little bit overrated. If one guy's moving his hand so much more that he's landing more punches, I mean, ultimately that's what it's about.
And the copy box stat there showed exactly that, Max. The Bobby Boy was definitely a lot more active inside of the squared circle.
Henry Armstrong used to throw so many punches, and he could miss 3/4 of them. It didn't matter. Jeff Fennick, the same thing, volume punches.
Some of those wars that Fennick had with Ruma Nelson.
Yeah, that was already, I think, past Fennick's prime at 130. When you look at Fennick at 22, 26, I mean, he was a monster. Punching machine. Great fighter.
What do you make out of Salud right now up to this point? How much did Barrera take out of him, Max?
I think he looks old. I mean, let's face it, there's some guys who take a lot out of fighters. Barrera's one of them. Morales doesn't look the same since Barrera, I felt, won that fight. Most people felt won that fight, although didn't get the decision. McKinney wasn't the same after that war with Barrera. He knocked out Junior Jones, but it was kind of a one-punch knockout situation in the fight he was losing. Jones ran out of gas. Junior Jones, even, after the rematch with Barrera that he won. And he also won the first fight. Junior wasn't the same after that Barrera fight. I mean, Barrera takes it out of guys. And at the age of 38, a beating like that, it could have a tremendous effect.
Don't wait. Uppercut, 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 uppercut. Punch it out, Bobby. Punch inside, Bobby.
Crowd now starting to really back up Salud here. He's getting in, landing some shots to the body. But Bobby Boy immediately makes him pay for it. Keep in mind that Salud doesn't have the amount of rounds as he did back in December to try to get Velardez out. It's a 10-round fight, not 12. He's got to take care of business a little bit quicker.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, Bobby.
Salud's throwing one punch at a time. I say that frequently throughout this broadcast, but frequently fighters do that. They throw one punch at a time.
Well, one Hawaiian fighter had his family here earlier, Brian Valoria. Same thing with Salud. They're sitting here at ringside trying to cheer on their family member to victory.
It didn't have to end like this. Armor All Protectant. Armor All Wash and Wax. And introducing Armor All Wipes, a revolutionary new way to shine, protect, and maintain your car quickly and easily. It's not just shine, it's Armor All.
In the background, classical music in Hawaii. Perfect, since this is just such a classic place to do a fight on a Tuesday night. But next Tuesday night, we're going to be by the Bay in San Francisco for heavyweight action between Robert Davis and Terrence Lewis. Boxing on the piers. The sun sets over San Francisco Bay. It promised to be a great night with some great fights. But right now, we've got an interesting matchup here between Fernando Bobby Boy Velardez and Jesus Salud. Salud in the yellow and green trunks, Bobby Boy in the black
side,
and
Bobby.
white.
Side to side and bounce. You can't hit you if you're bouncing. Hands up, chin down. Move, Bobby.
And after struggling through the first few rounds against Velardez, in the fourth, we saw Salud come on and tag Velardez with some good shots, mainly to the body, trying to work him down low, eliminate his wheels, and then he went up top. Big right there. Just made a little bit of contact there. Nice combination, 4 punches that make contact on Salud by Bobby Boy. 2 down low and 2 up high.
Okay, bring it up. Let's go. Step back. Step back, please. Let's go.
Bobby Boy coming on strong in this round, Max, after Salud took the last one. Velardez landing his shots. He had a couple combinations early on, and he's just been following it up again here. Midway through the round, it's all him.
He's been overwhelming Salud since the beginning with the volume punching, and nothing's changed.
Bring him up the middle, Bobby. Bring him up the middle. Right there. He's good. Bring it up.
Big right there by Salud. Rocks Bobby Boy.
And that's what Salud's been waiting for. He's been waiting to place his shots. At 38 years old, may not have the energy to match punch output, but looking to place his shots.
Warning there by the ref real quick, and Bobby Boy is definitely backpedaling now. He's running around this ring trying to get away from Salud's offensive attack.
The placement of the shots is important, just like Tito Mendoza last week with Sanchez. Not a big puncher, but hit him just in the right spot on the chin where the neck can't act as a shock absorber. That's where you score your knockouts.
Max, he hasn't landed the more punches, but the one he just landed a second ago was definitely the most effective of the fight. corner of Bobby Boy.
Hey, that don't mean nothing.
Definitely
That don't mean
advice
nothing.
here. It's interesting
Catch
to
your
see what they're
breath.
going to say.
Put ice on him. Put some ice on him. There. Hey. Breathe in. Look. Breathe in. That's okay. It doesn't mean nothing. That round don't mean shit. He won one round. That don't mean nothing. Hands up. Come back and down. This is your 6th round.
Don't be too far out now, because he's catching you on the end of his punches. He's trying to punch straight now. You see that? So no, what you got to do is what? You win, okay? Come in first. All right? That right hand and left hook will always be catching. Okay? He's open for you. He's open for you.
Max,
But
two
you know what?
completely different corners in terms of advice. Bobby Boy in some trouble there. They're just worried about the ice sit back, not giving him advice. And you see Salud's corner immediately on top of him and telling him and giving him some sound advice.
He's open for the right hand, left hook.
And that's what we were talking about earlier with the difference of a trainer at this stage in his career.
You know what? There you go. This is a power punches thrown and landed. Salud has thrown fewer. He's thrown fewer punches overall, but landed more power shots. Power shots mean anything but a jab. A hook, a cross, an uppercut, anything but a jab.
Get this.
Referee sending
This is the last time about ice. You wipe this
Salud to the corner as well as Bobby Boy. Referee now telling Salud's corner, Bobby Boy's corner, that they need to dry up the canvas. He's not going to tell him again about too much water on the canvas because it's dangerous to a fighter. A guy rolls into the corner, he can slip either one of them, and who knows what can happen.
Professional referee noticed something wrong, got it taken care of. That's all. Salud, I'll tell you the truth, it would seem like his fight is on the inside, and he hasn't had a lot of success on the outside. But I have seen in fights in Velardez's past, if you give him room and make him chase you a little bit, he'll reach for you. And when he reaches for you, his weight falls over his front foot, and he has to kind of fall into you. And a guy like Salud can counter Velardez coming in, doing real damage. The problem is Velardez has a nice long jab, and while Salud's trying to make him reach for him, Velardez doesn't necessarily have to because he can just keep tapping him with the jab.
Right behind Tom. Right at Tom's feet.
By Salud.
I don't think Salud's ever had Velardez ready to go, obviously, but I think he reached in and shook him up in a similar way to the way Veloria was shook up. I think Salud shook up Bobby Boy 2 or 3 times this fight. Reached him just then with the counter hook and earlier with straight right hand.
Outside hook, Bobby. Outside hook. Like that.
And that's the story of the fight. Salud reaches him with the cleanest punch in that exchange, a good straight right hand. But Velardez threw 3 or 4 punches, and therefore, in the end, probably won the exchange.
He's 38 years old, and he's hanging strong with a 20-year-old kid.
And he's twice his age.
Keep in mind, when Jesus Salud started as a professional, Marvin Hagler was a dominant champion in boxing. The movie Rocky III had just been released in the theaters.
We're talking about 1983.
And Ronald Reagan was in his first term. I mean, think about everything that's happened since then in the sport, and keep in mind the guy in front of him, Velardez, was in diapers at the age of 2.
Yeah. So, talking about a time when Salvador Sanchez had just died tragically in that car crash. Sugar Ray Leonard had just retired for the first time with his retinas a long time ago.
6 rounds of boxing complete here in our main event. Round 7's on deck.
In our house, everyone works together to keep things running smoothly, but no one works as hard as CLR's self-cleaning bathroom and kitchen cleaner deodorizer. I use it to tidy up the bathroom before everyone is off for the day. It instantly removes soap scum and hard water stains. And later, I use it on the tub and shower to get rid of a week's worth of mess. When the kids come home from school, they fix a snack, and no one knows the sticky mess they made. Tonight, Dad's making his famous family spaghetti sauce. But no problem. Its powerful spray action tackles even the hardest stains and spills. It used to take 3 or 4 different products to clean the 2 messiest rooms in our house, but no more. Now just one CLR bathroom and kitchen cleaner deodorizer does it all. Is it any wonder? It's from CLR.
At participating Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, Safeway, Co-op stores, Revy Home and Garden, Pro Hardware, Do-It Centers, True Value Hardware, and Zellers.
So if Bobby Boy comes out on top, what does his future hold? Cassandra Henderson can fill us in.
Mari, Bobby Boy Velardez he does not have a promoter. He is self-promoted. Reports say he started out at a very young age. He had quite a few losses, but now he's on an upswing, so tons of promoters are looking at him. And if he wins this fight tonight, he'll have quite a few options. Back to you, Mario.
And one matchmaker here in Hawaii is looking at him very closely here tonight, Max.
I don't know what if DeBella's planning on doing anything with Bobby Boy. And if he is planning, what he could really do. I think Bobby Boy is a rising young contender who looks like he's on his way to outpointing an old war horse tonight.
A war horse that says that he's going to pretty much take it into the stable if he loses this fight. If he's suffering a beating, and that's what he's doing here thus far.
I wouldn't say he's taking a beating. It's a tough fight. He's very much in the fight. But I don't think Salud, honestly, is in it for that last title shot. I think he's in it because this is what he knows how to do, Mario. He's a fighter.
Well, Salud is caught with a big cut, Max.
Oh, yeah, that's squirting blood.
Right over the left eye. And there's blood now all over the body of Salud. The referee is now going to take this to the doctor and see it's right over the eye. It's the worst place he can have a cut right now.
And it's spurting. It hits something there. It's spurting blood. It's not just flowing down the side of his face and into his eye. It's actually spurting out of his eye.
Bobby!
And the doctor
good luck closing that cut in between rounds.
And there's a lot of pressure, Max, because he's in Hawaii.
That's not the kind of cut that's going to close that I don't think a cut man can close in between rounds.
But it's in Hawaii, and that doctor right now must have been feeling the pressure on those ropes because of the fact that he might be ending the career of a Hawaiian legend.
Right.
I mean, Jesus has made it quite clear that if he loses tonight, he's going to get out of the sport.
The doctor can't think about that. You have to think about the safety of the fight.
And right now, look at Salud. He's in there, not trying to make something happen. Oh, down he goes with a right.
And you see, he couldn't see the right hand coming.
No, because of the blood. He's trying to...
Velardez did the right thing.
He's trying to survive inside that ring right now. That cut is taking its toll.
Folks, this is a brutal business, a brutal sport, and as soon as you see a weakness in a fighter, if you can't see because of blood coming out of his right eye, you attack the right eye. Attack the weakness.
And Salud knows that
this fight's going to be stopped in between rounds.
He has to protect that eye as much as possible. Max, you think it might be stopped in between rounds? It could be stopped right now.
Yeah, that cut is a very bad one. And there's not going to be any stopping it.
It's in the worst possible spot to have a cut.
That's the kind of cut that's going to require stitches. It's spurting blood. It's not just that it's leaking a little bit. And it's in a terrible spot.
And once again, the doctor sends him back out. And it's a bad cut. When this round started, Salud had nothing on his crunch. Now they are
overhand right, Bobby, overhand right.
Right
there,
and yellow.
James Tony Steve winners. But Tony was cut and basically had a round to end it and ended it. Fourth round, right. Hagler was cut against Hearns and supposedly had a round, although I hear conflicting things about that now. I remember watching the fight.
Well, Richard Steele.
Closed circuit, Palladium in New York City, but at the time everyone thought, oh, he has one round to finish it. Hagler finished it.
Richard Steele was the referee that night. He told me a few weeks ago the story behind that. He said that Hagler told him, you're not going to end this on a cut. You need to let me fight. And Richard just looks at him. And he just said, you need to finish this thing quick if you're going to, or else he's going to have to stop it, or I'm going to stop it, he said. And basically Hagler went out there and killed.
They're going to need a miracle to stop this cut. I don't think any solution that a cut man has is going to stop that thing. I think it's going to take a miracle.
Well, the doctor's heading over there right now as we speak into the corner.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
And Vaseline's not going to stop it, that's for sure.
He's good, he's good, he's good.
Surprised if he's allowed to this round.
You gotta go first, okay? You gotta go first.
Yeah, I got him.
Huh? By the hand?
That's underneath, Gabe.
You gotta let your punches go. You don't load up. Speed, speed. This guy is in front of you anyway. Okay? Nice and go. Don't get excited. Nice, breathe. Breathe. Okay? Don't load up. Don't load up.
It's like they're putting caulking over that eyelid there.
Yeah, they gotta caulk it up. They don't caulk it up, they chalk it up, Mario.
Yeah, and here's the knockdown, Max, by Velardez. And Bobby Boy is going to go right back out there for that eye.
You know, and that knockdown was a result not only of Jesus not being able to see the right hand, but Velardez shooting for the right hand, missing, hitting him on the chin.
And Velardez attacking that eye immediately. As you were alluding to earlier, Max, once a fighter's in trouble and the other guy sees it, he's going to jump all over it.
He should, anyway.
And we brought up the point, it was a nasty cut.
Now, if this wasn't Hawaii, do you think he'd be allowed to come out with that, with totally plastered up on the left side of his face?
Well, not only that, would he still be allowed to continue?
That's a good point. You made it earlier, and I dismissed it, but I think you're right.
That's it. Fight has been stopped. The referee has seen enough. Jesus Salud is stopped in Hawaii for the first time in his career.
They figure if the blood's coming through the plaster, it's time to stop the fight.
And Bobby Boy Velardez continues his string of victories. And Jesus Salud is extremely upset with the early stoppage. He made a face at the referee. And the fans here are leaving their seats immediately, not happy with the way this fight was stopped.
Listen, they did everything possible to let Salud continue. The cut was too bad. It was immediately apparent that the cut was horrible, but they bent over backwards to let him continue. The referee made the right call. Tried to let everyone leave here happy, at least let Salud continue, but it wasn't feasible.
We still love you, Salud. We love you, baby.
We'll be back with the official decision from this one in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Hey, did you miss me? Oh, not you guys, man. Hey, don't touch me. Can I have your number?